Like, what are you going to do about your future? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's like every time I feel that, young people are faced with this pressure of every time I talk to an adult, I need to answer what I need to do.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Good Talk. I'm your host Justin.
And I'm your co-host Sarah.
And we are joined by our friends today. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I am Denise and I'm with Metropolitan YMCA and I oversee the youth, the community as well as the fundraising and volunteer engagement work.
Hi everyone, I'm Yashuang and I'm currently a Year 3 student pursuing a diploma in psychology studies in Ngee Ann Polytechnic.
Today's topic is on youth work. So Sarah, what do you think youth work is all about?
Is it volunteering?
Well, that is a misconception. I think youth work goes beyond just volunteering because it can also be done as a full-time career. Youth work actually refers to community support activities that are aimed at adolescents, and it is one of the many kinds of work that can be done in the social service sector. This brings us to our first question. What are some misconceptions of youth work that you've heard of?
Youth work is perceived to be only for those who are very in.
Youth workers, they need to be young, like in the 20s.
Youth workers have to be hip. Youth workers have to be cool.
Which is not the case because like people around the age of like 30 plus, 40 plus, they can also engage in youth work.
And youth workers need to know all the answers. But it's actually more about the heart and the passion and the conviction of really just wanting to be with young people and to invest in lives.
What youth work have you been involved in?
For me, the population that I work with the most is children. But then if there is any chance in the future, I would gladly be keen to be involved in doing youth work to gain more exposure and experience in this field.
I started volunteering. Right now, I'm currently training a secondary 1 class. So this is actually a mainstream group of youths.
For me, I've not done face-to-face youth work before, but what I do is online youth work. So I make social media content that is related to mental health, targeted at adolescents.
I think I was a volunteer first, then I went into teaching, then as a counselor, and then to what I'm doing now, working with teams to look at youth programs and initiatives.
Why did you guys choose to explore youth work?
Actually into like adolescents and youth and young adulthood, that is a very prime time that I find young people will want to really think about things. They start challenging their own thoughts, wanting to formulate their own identity.
Ever since my interactions with the children that I actually volunteered in the Philippines, that was when the passion and the heart's desire to want to see youth thrive in life. It's a calling.
And also to process and to journey along has been something that has captivated me. Very purposeful if you get to be in that journey during that period of time.
Basically, I write content for social media to post on mental health. So I think the most memorable experience for me was when a few people shared the Insta story that we posted on our organization's Instagram account. So this helps you to realize that the work that you are doing is appreciated and people are learning from it as well. What is the most memorable experience you've had in doing youth work?
You sow a little seed, it will reap a fruit. From my experience, it was also being appreciated. There was this one girl whom I had a very deep conversation with. She was going through a very hard time and she came back with a bag of chips for me, and she was like, "This is for you."
When things are well, you celebrate with them. When a crisis hit and then they really, really needed that sense of having somebody to believe in them, that has always been very memorable for me.
So what are some needs of today's youth that should gain more public awareness?
I guess mental health needs to be addressed. Nowadays, the youth are getting more competitive.
When you are comparing yourself to other people on social media, then that can really influence your self-esteem, your self-identity, the need for acceptance.
Compared to the past years, more and more youths, they are facing deeper uncertainties or even anxieties about what is to come for them in the adult world.
What are you going to do about your future? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's like every time I feel that, young people are faced with this pressure of every time I talk to an adult, I need to answer what I need to do.
I think because of all the pressure and wanting to achieve success very young in life, it's important to know that progression over perfection. It is okay to not be perfect, and that we're all human at the end of the day. Youths just want their peers and people around them to know that they are being heard and understood.
Young people need people who are authentic to connect with them, because they are really trying to figure out who they are and trying to figure out their identity and to grow in it, what they're going to do in the future. They need to find that sense of purpose. What has evolved, I think young people having to get their answers faster and a different pathway to successes. Young people are now very, very fast. With every swipe you get an answer, you get some thoughts done. So encouragement needs to be faster to reach them as well.
How can the community get involved in the youth work scene in Singapore?
I think for most people, an accessible way to help, to reach out to the youths in the community, is to volunteer.
The easiest way is for us to have a chat or conversations with the youths around us to think from their perspective.
You can talk about their interests, just what is happening in their lives, what are they watching, what's up on their feed.
And perhaps also to educate ourselves in knowing what the youths in Singapore face in this current generation, such as their struggles or even the latest social trends.
In internships, be an internship supervisor. Help the young person to ease into find out about their career options or their aspirations, and not just having them to work in the office and just to fulfill KPIs. Interested not just in their doing, but in their being.
To end off with the very last question, what do you think youths can do to better prepare themselves to pursue a career in the youth work?
We need to first get over certain of the stereotypes. We shouldn't keep looking at youth as in we only should be involved when it's youth at risk. Because now it's mental health issues, it's mental wellness, it's also about preventive and how do we build young people up.
I think self-awareness is actually a good starting point for most people. And self-awareness would also include knowing your own strengths and interests as well. Because there are just so many things that you can do as a youth worker.
Youth workers have influence, and they also need to know who they are, what they stand for, what their values are, what they don't stand for. I think those are very crucial when it comes to role modeling and also being an example to the youths under the youth workers mentorship and guidance.
To be a youth worker, youth work associate, or even an assistant, I think they need to get a minimum requirement of a diploma or a degree certification.
To really prepare, adding on to the list of the studies and things like that, it is to also get the informal learning. Volunteer, intern, talk to people, talk to someone, and just explore. As much as we think that we are giving, but many times we also receive. We also need to know how to take care of ourselves in the long haul so that we will not burn out halfway or just give up.
Thank you all for helping those who are watching this understand more about the scope of a youth worker and what youth work in Singapore is all about. Share with us your takeaways down in the comment section below and let us know what topics you want us to discuss about next. This has been a good talk. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.